very good morning to all the students. I am your assistant teacher Ms. Dipali Sharma. Students, I hope you all are fine and fit. Now let's start our today's class with the sentence of the day. Today's sentence of the day is try and fail, but don't fail to try. I repeat again, try and fail, but don't fail to try. Now let's start our today's class. So students, we are doing the chapter number 1 of Civics, that is understanding diversity. So students, you have to open your Civics book, chapter number 1. So we are doing the chapter number 1 of Civics, understanding diversity. So before I start with the new topic, just recapitulate the yesterday's topic. So students, yesterday I have explained to you about the diversity, right? So as I have explained to you the meaning of diversity. Diversity refers to the existence of variations of different characteristics in a group of people. Diversity refers to the existence of variations of different characteristics in a group of people. Right, students? This is the definition of diversity. Diversity refers to the existence of variations of different characteristics in a group of people. Right? So as I have explained you that India is a country of many diversities. We have different languages, we celebrate different festivals, we have different kinds of food. So yesterday we have discussed a story about the Samir Ek and Samir Do, that how they became friends. Now let's recapitulate the story. So there was a small boy who used to sell newspapers at the Janpat crossing. And there was another boy who used to cross that road daily. One day that boy stopped and asked for the Hindi newspaper. So that boy looks after him and said, Hindi newspaper? Do you know Hindi? Then that boy said, yes, I know Hindi. I can speak Hindi, I can read Hindi, and I can write Hindi. Hindi was one of my subjects in the school. But that small boy was unable to understand what is subject. So the very next day that boy said subject is something to read. Yes, right? And the very next day that boy tells his name, that my name is Samir and what's your name? And that time that boy said my name is Samir too. And the very next day that small boy did not have the unusual smile for that boy, because many people were being killed in the riots. And Samir Do said that I am a Muslim. And the very next day the Samir Do has gone. So Samir Ek and Samir Do both belongs to different religions and both are having the different cultural backgrounds. But still they became friends. Right? So today we will start with our new topic, that is what diversity add to our lives. For that you have to take out page number 6. What does diversity add to our lives? What does diversity adds lives. Right? So, just like Samir Ek and Samir Do became friends, you might have friends who are very different from you. You celebrate different festivals with them. You have eaten different kinds of food with them, and you might have learned languages as well, right? Because India is a country of many diversities. We have different religions, we have different cultural backgrounds, we are having the different kinds of food. Yes, right students? So just like Samir Ek and Samir Do became friends, might be you are having the friends who are very different from you. So now our topic is, what does diversity adds to our lives, right? So many young people feel good when they read a good story because it gives them a lot of ideas to make up more stories. The people who used to write stories, they get ideas from their imagination, real life experiences from different places, from different books, right? So, for example, if people might be lived in the forest, so they used to write stories about their animals, about their friendship and fight with their animals because they are close to their animals, right? Some story writers write story about their childhood experiences, right? So the people who used to write stories, they get their ideas from different places, from different books, real life experiences, and from their imagination, right students? Now you have to imagine that if all the storytellers and readers that you have heard and read, they were forced to live in the same place where all people used to wear same clothes that are red and white, and they used to eat same food, that is potatoes, and they used to took care of the same animals that are cat and deer, and they used to entertain themselves by snake and ladders. So what do you think, what kind of story they would write? Okay, now I am repeating again. Imagine if all the storytellers and readers and writers you have heard and read, so if they were forced to live in the same place where they all wear same clothes, red and white, they used to eat same food, that is potatoes, and they used to entertain themselves by playing snake and ladders, and they used to took care of the same animals that are cat and deer. So what kind of story they would write? You have to imagine, right students? Now we have I have explained you about this topic. Now we will read this topic through the book, page number 6. Now students, we will read this topic through the book, What Does Diversity Add to Our Lives? Just like Samir Ek and Samir Do became friends, you might have friends who are very different from you. You have probably eaten different kinds of food in their homes, celebrated different festivals with them, tried out the clothes they wear, and learned some of their languages as well. So as I have explained you that you might be having some friends who are very different from you. You have eaten different kinds of food in their homes, you celebrated different festivals with them, tried out the clothes they wear, and learned some of the languages as well. Right students? Make a list of the food that you have eaten from different parts of India. Make a list of the languages beside your mother tongue that you can speak at least 1 or 2 words of. Students, you have to do yourself. Okay, you have to make a list of the food that you have eaten from different parts of India, and then you have to make a list of the languages besides your mother tongue that you can speak at least 1 or 2 words of. Okay. Now next, page number 7. You probably like reading and hearing stories and adventures about different animals, people, and even ghosts. Perhaps you can enjoy making up stories yourself. Many young people feel good when they read a good story because it gives them a lot of ideas to make up more stories. People who write stories get their ideas from all sort of different places, from books, real life, and from their imagination. As I have explained you that many young people feel good when they read a good story because it gives them a lot of ideas to make up more stories. Right? Now next. Some may have lived in the forest close to animals and chosen to write of their fight and their friendship. Others read real accounts of kings and queens and wrote stories about love and honor. Some dipped into their own childhood memories of school and friends and wrote stories of adventure. As I have explained you that everybody is having the unique style of writing. So some maybe write stories with their animals, and then some write real accounts of king and queens, and then some write their own childhood memories. Right? Now next, imagine if all the storytellers and writers that you have heard and read so far were forced to live in a place where all people wore the same colors, red and white, and while ate the same food, maybe potatoes, took care of the same animals, for example the deer and cat, and played snake and ladders to entertain themselves. What kind of stories do you think they would write? So students, you have to imagine that if all the storytellers and writers that you have read and heard, if they were forced to live in the same place where the all people wore the same colors and ate same food and took care of the same animals and played the same game, so what kind of stories they would think they would write? Students, we have read this topic through the book. Now write down your homework. Your assisting homework is complete chapter 1 of geography in a notebook and read the topic what does diversity adds to our lives. Of chapter 1, Civics. So now students, your homework is you have to complete chapter 1 of geography in a notebook, that you have to complete your question answers and key terms in a notebook, and you have to read the topic which we have read today, that is what does diversity adds to our lives, right, of chapter 1 Civics. Now students, you don't have to send your homework on the school app. Now we will give you the dates that when you have to submit your notebooks at school. Right students? Till then you have to attend your classes on a regular basis and you will complete your homework positively. Thank you students. Have a nice day.